Hello, hello. Welcome to another reading for somebody who's dealing with some shadow. The shadow's coming back to play. When I asked what this reading was about, we got awareness. I asked about what? And we got temptation, which is the devil card in tarot, which is the shadow. So there is something that needs to come into balance. The solar plexus came up as well. So it may have to do with your sense of power, perhaps your definition of power, which is interesting. That's a theme that's coming up lately, as well as your confidence, your courage came up. And this is connected to an emotional memory of some kind. So we'll get into that as well. So let's get started. By the time I post this, you've probably been through it. Maybe you're still in the thick of it. It seems that way. But by the time you see this, you have successfully finished the Libra Aries eclipse cycle that has been ongoing for the past 2 years. And perhaps that's why this is coming up and why it's emotionally charged, because that cycle has to do with self and partnership. So, where shall we start? I also got my new die that I'm excited to use. My little astrology dice. So we'll use those tonight as well. There was something else I wanted to say. What was it? I mean, I do have some announcements, if you don't mind, just really quick. My Shadow Work Through Tarot and Poetry event that I did last month is coming back in April, April 9th. So information on that is below in the description. It's in Burbank. If you're free, come by 6 to 7 p.m. We're going to talk about the prompts for this one is going to be based on the Libra full moon that's coming up. So partnership, funny enough. So I have some prompts that are going to help us use tarot to better understand our shadow by pulling cards. Feel free, if you have your own tarot deck, bring it with you. You don't have to, but bring a journal. I'll have some snacks. It'll be a good time. We play music, we light incense, we get with community, and you write whatever. We say poetry, but poetry can be anything. So that is a process of emotional alchemy. And so this is a shadow ritual that I like to do. And we infuse the hidden language of tarot, the way that symbolism speaks to our unconscious mind. And then we alchemize whatever that rises up within us through poetry, that emotional alchemy. You don't have to be a poet. You don't have to be a tarot reader. You just got to be down. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, anything else? Anything else? I mean, Return to Self is on Etsy now. I don't know if you know that. And I also dropped a really cute chakra journal. It's a digital download, but it teaches you all about the chakras, your energy centers, which we talked about. Your solar plexus is coming up. I talk about what it is, what it means, what it represents physically, spiritually, emotionally, all the things, all the things. And then it's also a coloring book. I like to color. And then it also has QR codes to healing playlists on Spotify for each chakra because sound healing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I feel like that's enough for now. I probably have more, but we can have a commercial break at some point. Let's get back to you. So, where do I want to begin? Here. Hmm. Join me for a deep breath, yeah? Because I feel like there is something coming up. Honestly, I don't even feel stress. I don't feel it's like a knowing that this is something you're ready to release and let go of. Truth. You know the truth. So again, we'll see. Maybe this isn't such a like You got to do this. This is something's messing you up. Maybe it's just confirmation. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe there's still 1% of you that's like, and here I am to be like, you're fine. Sit down. Let's talk about it. Soulmate. See, I knew it. I knew it. Trust. You got love on the brain. Courage. What did I say? Gosh, you'd think I'm like psychic or something. Sheesh. That makes sense. Message. It feels like you have been guided when it comes to love in your life. But man, you fight it. But again, it's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from self-protection. And it feels like that the temptation is to feed the fear, and you're being reminded that your courage, your power, your self-will, your determination, like you need that balance. You need to remember what you're capable of because you are worthy of this love, spiritual cleansing. There are things that have affected you for a really long time that have influenced your understanding of love, your belief of love, your perception of love, romance, relationships, partnership. And that makes sense with the timing of that eclipse portal. You know, perhaps these last 2 years have really like taken you on a journey of finding that balance between two areas of your life that are equally important to you. I'm seeing foundational houses. So 1, 4, 7, 10, which means maybe you're an Aries rising, Libra rising, Capricorn rising, or Cancer rising. Because those are the houses where you really, and I have my astrology deck, we'll see. Those are the houses that really tend to, the foundational houses that highlight perhaps the greatest axes when it comes to partnership, self and other, whether it's family, career, your legacy, or you, yourself, and the other partnership. I didn't even, hello, jealousy. Is there jealousy up in here? Why? Stormy, some emotional stuff coming up, which makes sense because the shadow, we saw it. Okay, so maybe that's what it is, magic. Is someone jealous of someone's magic? Guides. I'm hearing a plane right now. That's interesting. I am curious about this because friendship, it feels like there's a misperception happening here. What I'm getting is someone who may be feeling bits of jealousy or envy, maybe you, maybe someone else who's connected to this, over someone's magic, like their ability to, what feels like their ability to take risks, surrender, trust, like really keep going even when they don't know where they're going. There's a feeling of, and again, remember, I said there's a misperception here. Someone believes that someone else has it easier. That's the misperception. And I think that's where this sort of jealous energy comes from, is that you feel like you're making this choice alone, or that the weight of it is only on you. But I don't know that that's true. And I don't know that that's fair to say. I think that's, again, part of the shadow that's coming up in creating a narrative that allows you to talk yourself out of doing perhaps the scary thing. And again, this is solar plexus healing for you. All right. Let's what is this collective currently experiencing within their energy? Please and thank you. Mm. Well, that makes sense. It makes dollars and cents. Okay. No wonder you're freaking out. Sorry. Psychic. See, that's what I'm saying. You got the magic. You don't trust it. That's the only difference. That is the only difference. You keep creating. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little harsh. It's just, it's late. It's later. I was not planning to do this. I was not planning to do this reading, but here we are. Wow, this is such a theme of a conversation. Power is very important here. If this is for you, you've seen the word power often, it's been coming up for you. You may have been having gut issues, digestion issues, lots of yellow, maybe even eating more yellow foods. I'm seeing bananas and lemon and I don't know. Anyway, part of your shadow that holds you back is the stories that you create in your mind, where you paint pictures of other people that aren't necessarily true. And for some reason, and maybe it'll come up later, there is this inherent idea that you are not given the same amount of love, grace, guidance, patience, fill in the blank, as other people, or even perhaps as this person. There's something about what you define as power for them that you do not feel you have, and it creates a little bit of jealousy and envy. And yet, what you fail to see is they are reflecting you. I'm also feeling like this is something that makes you believe that, oh, okay, well, yeah, solar plexus, that makes you believe that you're not good enough. Duh, the confidence. You don't feel good enough. And it creates jealousy and envy. Like, why can't I just be like that? Why can't I just do that? And that way I would be good enough. And then A, B, C, and D, again, the stories just start writing themselves. And what you seem to be continuously resisting is that what you are picking up on that may unconsciously or not bring up some feelings of jealousy and envy are parts of yourselves that are begging to be acknowledged by you. You got it in you. You're just not doing anything with it. So this person is simply reflecting the parts of you that you are either unwilling to see or unwilling to believe exist in you. Your magic. It's interesting because people who don't even believe in magic can never see it. Do you get what I'm saying? You believe in magic, and you know that because you can see it when it's happening. People don't recognize what they don't know. So you know it. Why do you think you know it? Because it's in you. It's not that you're just recognizing magic, you're recognizing yourself. You're recognizing your capabilities, you're recognizing your gifts. They're awakening through your ability to see it happening with other people. But if you continuously separate it and believe that you are just an observer and not someone who also embodies this, then you make it about the other person instead of about the fact that they're trying to tell you, you got it. We're trying to show you, and especially you get guidance. Don't you get guidance? You don't listen. You don't trust yourself. So of course you think, oh, I don't have the power. They have it easier. It's like they're just guided. They know what to do, da, 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 whatever. Well, maybe because they did the hard thing of learning how to listen, surrender, trust, and see what the fuck happens. You have been going through a deep transformation due to your karmic path. As I said in the beginning, whoever I'm talking to, you've had a gnarly few weeks, if not years, but specifically. This is karmic. This is deep soul lessons for you. And you know that. You know that. But for whatever reason, we're about to find out. What is the reason? You don't trust yourself. Let's see what's getting in the way. Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not just from this life. You know what I'm saying? Karmic path. Like there may be persecution wounds here or something with that, even through your lineage, maybe. What is getting in the way of this person's ability to surrender? Well, as I said it, you've traveled dimensions. Why do I feel like you may have gotten Why do I feel like you may have gotten visions before or something that really scared you? I think it was something that you didn't necessarily want to be true and then it became true. Wow. Or something like that. You had a vision of something and I don't think it was the best. And you tried to write it off as like your imagination or whatever, but I think it happened. I think it came true. And I think that scared you a lot. And you didn't want this anymore. I don't know. All right. What's blocking your ability to surrender? We got Merkaba talking about time traveling, other lives. You're all up in this universe, flying through time and space. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. I think you've had a really karmic life. And I think that's why you have envy and jealousy sometimes because you wonder, why has it been so hard on me? What did I do? Like, you felt like this was punishment. What you didn't realize is you were on like a very unique experience where it was beyond just this life that you are experiencing right now. And that called you to do an experience and move through a lot of lessons and relationships and people and experiences. I keep saying experiences, Jesus Christ. And my heart just got heavy. So there was some heavy heartbreak, but it was all preparing you for this. And instead of being able to embrace this gift, you're stuck in fear over what happened in the past, not realizing what happened in the past is what led you to this gift. There's a piece of you that's stuck. We have miracle, realization, divine masculine, and belief with cosmic flower on the bottom. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of the source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. Realization. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. Divine masculine. The frequency of divine masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. And belief. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. You always had access. You did not take advantage of it. You have these gifts. But it's just like going to the gym. We all have calf muscles, but you can't see them on everybody. You know what I'm saying? We all have abs, but you don't see it on everybody. Those who exercise what they are given become strong enough to be noticed. It's an energy. It is felt. And perhaps that's part of the envy, is the undeniable magic within this person. And it makes you feel like, well, what the fuck? All right, cool. What do I bring to the table? Your own magic. And that looks different for everybody. And it's not always some woo woo thing. There's magic embedded in the fabric of everything that we do and experience here. This situation, this experience alone is magical. It's magic that we are even alive being able to do this right now. You just forgot the magic in you. And this person woke it up. And I think you kind of resented that too, because it made you have to realize the miracle that you are. It made you have to believe in yourself. It made you have to step up and upgrade your energy, because you could no longer play stupid and act like you don't know what it is. You've seen it, you've experienced it, you felt it, you heard it, you saw it, you smelt it, whatever. Once you become aware of what is possible, you don't unsee that. You don't forget that. And trust me, many of us have tried to forget many things. How has that worked out for people? That's when you start hiding from the truth. When you avoid remembrance, healing. All right. Okay, let's see here. Spirit, please reveal any, let's start with any significant astrological indicators for this collective, please and thank you. Oop, oop, come on, relax. This feels more like a message than indicators, but okay. Seventh house at the bottom, partnership. Waning gibbous at the top, waning crescent, Mars, four, feminine, opposition, sun, and air. So you may have some prominent air placements. Your Mars may be in an air sign. Your sun may be in an air sign. Your sun may have, there may be a sun Mars opposition in your chart. Interesting that we got feminine here. We got divine masculine earlier. Yeah, which your magic, you have been literally opposing. Okay, yeah, this isn't about your astrology, which is fine because even I said earlier, I'm going to roll the die anyway, so we're going to get astrological stuff. But I want to look up waning crescent and what they wrote about that. But you experience a lot of opposition when it comes to your logic versus your intuition. There is something about your feminine energy, your magic, your knowing, your stillness that has been challenged in some way, might be by the father with the sun here. It may have been a very turbulent relationship with Mars. Perhaps you're conflict avoidant. I'm also sensing a lot of ego here. And again, it feels like ego to be right. And what I'm also getting right now is you may have made a decision about whatever this is, and now you're backtracking on that decision. And that's why you're hesitating. Because again, I'm feeling like there is hesitation, not just out of fear, but out of ego. It's almost like you don't want to be seen wrong, or you don't want people to question, why did you change your mind? What do you mean? I thought you said this. I thought you said that. The four is reminding me of the emperor. That's the fourth card in tarot in the major arcana. You're being reminded of your authority. Again, major solar plexus healing here. It's almost, which makes sense why power came up, because you give it away. If you haven't already, read my personal essay on why we fear true power and personal sovereignty. You are fearing the responsibility that comes with your decision. We saw that already when I said you don't want to grow up. The divine masculine energy, you had to change your habits. There was something about the way that you would maneuver through life that still allowed you to be an older version of you, or play small, or play the victim, or be immature, or whatever. There is some energy that you became very comfortable with, and your karmic path is pulling you in a direction where you need to sacrifice that. Again, with air here and like mental cards and maybe a mental habit of some kind. But it also feels like some ego. It just feels like you're willing to sacrifice a lot that you have prayed for just because you don't want to be seen a certain way by other people, or because you don't, you know, you question your integrity or whatever about, I don't know. It's just there's like a made up situation that you've created. Ooh, excuse me, about why you can't do this. And that's your shadow. That's what it does. Who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking to someone from the community today. They sent me a voice note about what they were feeling and what was going on with them. And, you know, and just to be clear, this is someone that we forged a friendship over time through the retreats that I've hosted and, whatever. Anyway, I'll tell you what I told her. Things are the loudest right before they die. Do you know what I'm saying? You're about to release a part of yourself that you have held onto for a really long time, and it knows it. So it is going to go out with a show. It's going to be louder now than ever because it's also testing your power, your self will, your determination. Are you going to stand on what you said, or are you about to break and go back to what you know? Let's see what it says for waning crescent. You may have been born on a waning crescent moon. Um, you might just be seeing repeating fours or be a life path four. What's on the bottom? Oh yeah, seventh house. We said that. Okay. Waning crescent. This is weighing on you. It's hard to breathe. Now, the moon has shed most of her light from the previous cycle, illuminated only as a crescent in the sky. This phase precedes the darkness of the new moon, and in preparation for this darkness, the balsamic moon is a representation of loss, sacrifice, and drama. I can't make that up. The creative spirit that works with limited materials, the tragedian, the essentialist. In the natal chart, those born with the moon less than 45 degrees behind the sun were born at the balsamic phase. Life for these people is characterized by score settling, or the sense that there are karmic lessons that only you can bring to people's attention. An intense nature, the ability to see in the dark through people's motivations, highly psychological, provocative, in service of higher goals, aims, and spiritual forces. Key terms: release, sacrifice, preparation for rebirth, loss, purge. In light, this phase shows us the power of working to create life with only the most limited of materials, in exercise, in restriction. Which also feels like limited materials in the sense of limited information. You want to know. You're like, okay, I understand this is an option and a choice, but I'm going to need to see the next 10 years and how this is all going to unfold and break down so that I can make sure I'm making the right decision. You're not going to get that. Hello. Anyway, in shadow, this phase can bring fear or anxiety, tunnel vision, or intensity, making you feel as though you need to teach others lessons that they need to learn on their own. Are you trying to teach someone a lesson right now? Don't do that. Because, first of all, you're no one's teacher. I mean, that's not true. Everyone's a teacher. I take that back. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're putting yourself in a role, in a position that no one asked you to do. And what's really happening because of what we've seen so far is that you are trying to put yourself in a superior role, in a role of authority, because you lack the authority in your own decision making. I know, I heard it. But that's why I'm here, and that's why you come to me, because you know I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and then you figure it out. Your shadow is you play games to assert authority over situations and people because you lack that inner authority when it comes over your own life. You can see things for other people clear as day, but when it comes to your own life, blinded. And that makes you angry. That's what we were talking about earlier. That's that jealousy and envy. You feel why can't, what is this? You can see it. You just keep questioning it or you don't accept it. So, in order to make yourself feel better over the fact that you don't know how to figure something out and it is creating points of vulnerability for you, you try to find other ways to make yourself feel like you have some power in the situation because you feel powerless. You're not. You are not powerless. You're just not doing the things that need to be done because they are scary. So you are reaching for familiar habits that give you a quick little fix of making you feel important and assertive and in charge, in control, because you don't like to be out of control. You don't like not knowing. You don't like the uncertainty. And again, I know I sound like a raging bitch right now, but it's because this feels important. And I'm not going to mince words because you need to hear it. I'm not going to give you room to misinterpret this. And if you continue to choose to, that's on you. This is coming from experiences in the past where you had no control and you were angry about that. And you have carried that anger over the fact that you had no control over that situation and the shame that followed and the guilt that followed and the anger and the grief and the fear and the doubt and all of these things that were birthed through something that was out of your control has made you so angry that you are taking it out on everything else in your life by trying to control everything. Something just popped up on my Mac and I don't know what that was. Whew. Okay. Anyway, let's see with the number die. I'm gonna say let's do days. And then if I get 12, then we'll roll again and we'll do weeks. We'll roll again. That was hard. You should try it. Anyway, okay. Let's look at the next, or no, how far in advance are we looking for this collective? 4. So 4 days. 4 days from when you're seeing this. All right. Spirit, what is happening within the next 4 days for this collective? Mhm. Lots of Pentacles energy. Death. There is an ending. Yes, Queen of Wands. Okay. Okay. That's what I like to see. You're getting the confidence. You're going to get it. There's something about your perseverance that, and you're not afraid of hard work. But again, it's that feeling I've talked about it before where it's almost like you've gotten so comfortable with wanting things, longing for things, yearning for things that you're almost more afraid of getting it because now you got to sustain it because now you know what it's like to have it. And the thought of having it and that being taken from you, you are terrified of that. It's kind of like that saying, don't introduce me to a vibe you can't maintain. It's that energy. Ooh. It's almost like you know how great this can be and you don't want to experience it because you don't want to become dependent on it. You don't want to get used to it. You don't want to rely on it in the case that it somehow gets taken from you. And maybe that's a thing that's happened to you. Things get taken from you. And so you learned not to commit to anything, not to hold on to anything, maybe not to even want anything. But there is, with this Queen of Wands energy at the top, there is this feeling of passion and determination and optimism that you're being asked to really harness these next 4 days because something is being let go of. Lots of Pentacles energy here. So, Earth energy is significant. It may have to do with your finances, it may have to do with your security and stability in some way. But again, even though this talks more about like physical stability, financial stability, this might be emotional stability, mental stability. I don't know who this might just be for one person, but it feels like within the next 4 days there might be some news or information that comes up for you in regards to your family. Maybe a conflict within the family or something that has to do with wealth with the family. And maybe this is part of this switch. Because you saw how I was just talking to you. And listen, I'm sorry, I love you. But this switch up, it feels like something happened which made you kind of like, oh, hello, duh. Like there is just a very major shift that almost takes the blinders off or something changes. Ooh, are you resting? You must be tired. You felt really stuck. But whatever this is, and listen, you don't have to tell me anything because who am I? But if you're open to sharing, please leave a comment if this happens because I am such a little nosy poo. I want to know. Something is happening within the family that is going to, it feels like show you what you've been afraid of and how it's not something you need to be afraid of because there's something about you that's just different. And maybe it's as simple as that, just an aha moment of a certain situation that you realize that you handle so differently than everyone around you. And you realize, like, oh, everything I was afraid of isn't even true. That's not in me. But there is some reward or something for your efforts, some form of abundance that feels like it's really going to boost your self esteem and it's going to give you that gas in the tank that you might need. That little thing that's going to remind you that you're tripping. Come on now. Come on now. All right. So, oh, that's what I was going to do. Do I want to do it with something else? No, let's do it with the tarot. Let's get guidance for these next 4 days. And then we'll get the die and then we'll call it. Because I know I chat. I'm a little chatterbox. I say, let's do a quick reading. And then 2 hours later, you're like, girl, what? Sorry. Okay. Spirit, can you please share some guidance on next steps? Oh, for this person for the next 4 days. Four keeps coming up. That is a significant number for you. And we're in April. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Your intuition was blocked. There's a lot of doubt, a lot of confusion. But because of whatever happens within these next 4 days for whoever this is, you're being guided to really take a leap of faith here. You got the Fool. This is a new beginning. This is fearlessness. This is taking a chance. This is allowing yourself to be spontaneous and to venture a new path, to do something different. With the Eight of Cups here, you're being advised to move on from anything that's not fulfilling you. It's okay to let go and to leave where you are if it's not serving you. I feel like for whoever I'm talking to, you may have abandonment wounds that, again, the guilt that I was talking about, it creates guilt for you. You feel like you're abandoning certain people or situations or whatever when you choose yourself. No. Trust and know that the people who love and care about you want you to follow your truth, yourself. They want to see you happy. And only you know what that is and what that looks like. You're being guided to let go and walk into the unknown. Let yourself have that opportunity to do something different. Let the karmic cycles end. Do you still want to read the same story, or are you ready to explore a blank page? If the script is not being handed to you, what would your lines be? What if you're the writer? What's the story you would write? Since family came up earlier, I do feel like part of this may include like going against the family in some way. Whatever this decision is, I don't know. There's like that feels like you're not supported. And perhaps that's been part of your hesitation is the lack of support that you may have with the people around you or with your family, because we have the Four of Wands in reverse here. So you may be in conflict with certain people you're close to, or just those relationships may feel unwelcoming, argumentative, or perhaps it's just like a lack of feeling rooted and stable when it comes to the home within yourself, when it comes to your foundation. But then we got strength. Allow yourself to believe in yourself. That's the self love. That's the courage. That's the respect. Have compassion with yourself. Have compassion with others. You're not here to please everybody but yourself. It's okay to disappoint people. It's okay to let them down sometimes. It's okay to do things that may make them feel a type of way. They're adults. They can handle it. They can work through that. This is your life. Have fun with it. If you're feeling called, go. I really do feel like part of the reason why those of us who reincarnated in this time did is because we really are fighting for freedom. But it's a very specific idea of freedom that I don't know everybody understands. It's a freedom of choice. It's the freedom to make your own decisions about your life, your body, your experience here. We have so many restrictions, whether it's internal or external. That freedom that we keep fighting for is autonomy. And maybe that's something you really value. And perhaps that's another fear that comes up when partnership enters the conversation because you fought for that freedom to make your own choices and decisions. And now someone else is coming in the picture? Like, what does that look like? But again, that's when you know that it's real. Of course, you'll always have to compromise. And yes, that level of love requires consideration with every decision. And it's worth it. When you love someone, you want that. You want them to be happy. You want them to live the life that they want to live. So perhaps you've been around a lot of people who made you feel like you have to sacrifice the things that you love and your goals, your passions, your dreams in order to remain close to them. Valid. That's a valid fear. I know I said we were going to get into the die, but separation. You might be in separation from this person. I just want to get a little bit on this connection. Can you tell me more about this connection involved? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there we go. Wow. Poker face. Not showing your hand. Sunglasses, but you're a little stalker, a little lurker. You out here. I see you, but I don't. I don't want you to know. Loki, that could have been a song right there. You could take it. Okay. Yeah, this is. There was a level of indulgence with this connection, and not in like a materialistic or superficial way. It's almost like just being together felt like luxury. Like there is just something that felt, for lack of a better term, expensive about your experience together. And again, I don't mean monetarily, I mean the energy that was shared. Magic. And for that reason, it brought up self worth issues. It brought up fear around your value. Again, that what I said earlier, what do I bring to the table? You're putting this person on a pedestal and making it as if you're not on a level playing field in order to not even get in the game. That was part of your shadow work. You both activated shadow work with each other here. And perhaps there's been time where you needed to heal all of that with this card. But But again, it was to learn how to appreciate yourself so that you could come into a partnership with that level of confidence and not be insecure and not bring that doubt and not wonder, you know? There is unconditional love here with blowing kiss, giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection returned, ascending, learning and expansion, transcending, preparing for union, new phase, partying, time with friends, having fun, happily single, living in the moment. So maybe you know, lit some candles together before. You might have gone on a hot air balloon ride. You might have gone to the beach together or partied together, hung out with friends together. Abundance, positive mindset, manifest, gratitude and bliss, blessings. You know, this is a blessing for you. And there's a level of abundance, like I was saying with the luxury, there's a level of abundance that you feel with this person. You feel rich, and it doesn't even matter what it says in your account. That's important because that's the true wealth. Healing heart, healing heartbreak, toxicity or addiction, abusive relationships. So there may have been some addictions here. Perhaps someone was healing from an abusive relationship, but either way, and we said there's time to heal here. So and separation came up. So maybe there's been some time because healing needed to happen. But we got passion, insane chemistry, sparks, and having fun. So we have having fun twice here. You clearly had fun together, which is beautiful to see. Like, hello, that's like the trifecta. You have fun together, you learn from each other, and there's chemistry and passion. I'm sorry, what's missing? What is there that you keep talking yourself out of? And it's equal interest. You have that twice too. Affection returned, equal interest, burning desire. It's not like you're pining for someone who doesn't even know you exist and now you feel like a Delulu pants and you're worried about getting committed. This is reciprocal. This is real. You're not making it up in your head. Now you got engagement ring. Higher commitment, eternity, partnership, and union completion. I don't know that that is necessarily happening in the next 4 days or anything like that, but I think this is something that you've thought about. I think when you think about this person, when you think about this partnership, you think about the future, and that's what freaks you out. It's almost like you're willing to see a life that you never allowed yourself to want or to believe was possible. And there's something about this person that allows you to see things differently and to consider a life that you maybe wrote off for yourself. But that also required you to heal a lot of stuff, to have to face a lot of darkness, a lot of shadows, a lot of blind spots, a lot of things that, quite frankly, would have been a lot easier to ignore. But that's not who you are. Heart to heart conversations. It's funny because I feel a competitive energy here, right? Like we talked about it before. There's strong ego. And if you want to use your ego to your benefit, then consider missing out on the greatest thing that God gifted you in this life. Are you willing to do that? Because let's be real, you're going to think about it forever. And if you're going to do that to yourself, you might as well find out, round and find out. Because that way it's a win-win, honestly. If you ask me, I'm the type of person who I don't want to come to any situation wondering what if. Like at the end of my time, God willing, there is not a what if about nothing. I found out. If I was curious, I went for it and I found out. There is a relief there. There's closure. There is a sense of completion with that, of knowing what's for me is for me. And I know that what's for me also requires my participation. And so I will do what is being asked of me in regards to this and see what happens, knowing that I went for it. So if it doesn't happen, that's fine. It wasn't for me. And now I know instead of always wondering. That's freedom again. Yeah, there's like a desire to start over with new love here. And also perhaps to like keep it light, keep it flirty. I feel like you have some friends who would be willing to help you with this true love on the bottom. So chemistry again at the top. Ooh, it's not that you don't have support. I think again you're worried about what people will say or if you will, question yourself again, but just remember like the decision's made for you once you make it. And it's not about them trying to change that. It's about them showing up in the ways that you need support. Okay, so children may be significant here as well as finances and career. This could be the one. Ooh. Yeah, with karmic path, I don't know. You might have some spirit babies up there being like, listen, we're ready to swoop in, but y'all got to make it happen. And we are patiently waiting. You may have had dreams about children, maybe tried to have children, maybe do have children with each other. And maybe this is something that you are being asked to try again, despite the fact that maybe at one point you were like, oh, this is done. Either way, there is there is something that you are being asked to just face. Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. Some answers you're not meant to have yet. That doesn't mean you can't take the next step. That's one of my favorite quotes. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And if you just keep focusing on the next step right in front of you, before you know it, you climbed a mountain. Sometimes we freak ourselves out because we're looking at the top of the mountain thinking, how the frick am I about to get there? And all you're seeing is the long journey you got to take. And you're like, ugh, not that incline. What am I about to do there? But if you focus on the present moment and you just focus on the next step you got to take, and you don't focus so much on where you got to end up, you'll get there before you know it because you're staying present. That's the gift. And when you are staying present with someone whose company you actually enjoy, time seems to move pretty fast, doesn't it? Magic. Okay, dice. So this will be significant numbers and or not and or and astrological indicators. Okay, we got Libra energy, we got Pluto energy, we got five. So you might be seeing repeating fives. You might have Pluto in Libra. You might have Libra ruling the fifth house or Pluto in your fifth house. Jupiter six. Yeah. And Pisces. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Pisces. So you might have Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter in the sixth house, Pisces in the sixth house. One more. Okay, six again. Sun, Libra. So you might have your sun in the sixth house, Libra in the sixth house, your sun in Libra. Um, but the sixth house coming out twice, that's important. That's a house of service, routine, work, self-improvement. All right, y'all. Thank you for letting me read for you. I know we got a little serious at one point, but it's all out of love. It's just because, this journey is for you. And as a Capricorn stellium, nothing gets me riled up more than seeing someone who is so capable and so powerful and so magnificent, and they don't see it. And I know it's not my job to make you see it, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. If you're gonna give me the opportunity, I'm gonna take it. So I hope you see that in yourself. And I hope you move in the world in that way. And I hope you move within your relationships that way. And I hope you know that you deserve to be seen that way by the people who love you. Again, all information on all the things down in the description. Thank you for letting me read for you. If you want a one-on-one, mysticbrew.com. Otherwise, I will see you later.